Everybody, Stone here, body worker in Minneapolis, and I wanted to do a video for you today. For those of you that get regular massage, you're going to find this background information interesting. For those of you who want to get into the profession or considering going into the profession, this might actually be helpful for you to decide what kind of a practice you want. So today we're going to discuss a little bit about the climate in the room and on the table and how that all balances out and can make for a better or worse experience. So for example, I live in Minneapolis. We have all four seasons in all of their extremes. It can be 100+ degrees, or it can be -40 actual air temperature outside. We can have very high humidity or 20% humidity. Just kind of depends. So I have to make sure my practice is ready for all of those conditions. So what are some things that I actually care about? One is the air temperature in the room, the humidity level in the room, the temperature of the table, and how the sheets are holding in heat or letting heat escape. These are all things that can cause people to sweat or get the chills or make them feel uncomfortable because they feel exposed, because the sheets might be too thin, or they might feel like they're being smothered, like the sheets are too thick and heavy. So what are optimal conditions? Well, it kind of depends on the situation. So for example, there are some people that are just naturally running cool. So they always want a little bit of heat. So I always recommend find a setting around body temperature, around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That way, if somebody's running at 98.6, it takes the edge off and allows you to expose their skin, allows you to give them a massage and still make them feel relatively comfortable. If it's somebody who might be on the heavier side that runs extremely hot, they might say turn all the heat off because they're always feeling hot because they have a lot of internal insulation. And I would simply take their advice. And that's usually when they want the room at around 68 degrees or 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And usually they would prefer a sheet that's more breathable, like cotton. Finally, you have people that it really depends on the seasons. So if it's hot and sticky outside, they would rather not be hot and sticky inside. So if you have air conditioning, run it at 75 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. Put the lowest amount of heat on possible. I have clients, it's -40 outside. They come in, it's in the 70s in the room. They'll still stay. Crank up the heat. I want to feel the heat. I haven't felt warm all day, or my feet are very cold, or my fingertips are very cold. Don't be afraid to crank up the heat. Humidity here is a different situation than it is for most people. If you're getting a massage in the desert, usually the air is very dry and very warm, and usually air conditioning is enough to address all those issues. Where I'm from, it can be a little bit different. So a dehumidifier is sometimes necessary beyond an air conditioner. And then sometimes you just get situations where it's like, you just need to tell me what you feel like that way. And those are pertaining to individual clients. But in general, if you run hot, tell the therapist you run hot. If you run cold, tell the therapist you run cold. Tell them how you dress at home and what temperature you keep your home at, because that's a really good indicator for us how to make adjustments to the table and to the room, because we can turn the heat up all the way up into the 130s and make you feel very warm. We can turn it off and it will take a little bit of a cooling effect on the body when we start to undrape the areas we're actually going to work on. But I would tell people, never be uncomfortable when it comes to humidity and temperature, because it's not worth it. If you're paying for the experience, they're going to do the best they can to make you feel safe and comfortable, and temperature and humidity has a big part in that. So don't be afraid to say something. And by the way, leaving clothes on for any other reason than safety is typically unnecessary if you give them this information. If you're always cold and you say, I really like to keep my socks on, that's okay, but tell them why, because my feet are always cold. There might be a solution there you might not know about that they have available, that all you had to do was say something. Lastly, I do have some clients who really like hot towel services, And just by adding more or less water to those towels can greatly influence the feel of those towels. The more saturated water there is on the towel, the hotter it will feel when you put it on their body. So if it's just to wipe off extra lotion, cream, or oil, cooler is fine. If they feel cold or you're trying to open up their pores for a foot massage, then you want to use more water in the towel. This will make it feel hotter. Just make sure you don't make them feel so hot they feel like they're getting burned. But there's always a good middle ground. I hope this information was helpful. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.